Okay, so to code our particle effect, we're going to go ahead and start by going to our yellow events tab, and when we receive play game, because that's where we're going to start everything, we're going to go ahead and go into looks, and we're going to hide. We're then going to add a set size, and you guys can go ahead and again, if you want to play around with it, just disconnect it, play around with the size until you're happy with the number, and then go back and add it in. Once you're done, we're going to go inside of control, add a forever, add a create clone of myself inside of it, and then underneath we're going to wait 0.05 seconds. And you guys can always play around with this number to have more or less pieces of what you guys have drawn shown on your screen. So that's kind of up to you. Underneath this, we're going to go into control and add a when I start as a clone. We're going to go into looks and add a go to front layer, go forward 1, and we're going to go ahead and show. After that, we're going to go inside of the blue motions tab, and we're going to set Y to 179. We're going to add a set X to, and we're going into operators to add a pick random from negative 240 to 240. And then we're going to go into control and add a repeat until. So we want it to continue falling until it reaches the very end, and then we want it to delete. Just so that we don't have too many clones on the screen at one time. In the diamond shape, we're going to go into operators and use the less than symbol. The 50, we're changing to negative 178. And inside of the empty bubble, we're going to go inside of the motions tab, scroll down, and add a blue Y position bubble. Inside, we're going to add a change Y by, and we're changing the 10 to negative 5. You can play around with this number too to have the, for example, my thunder falling either faster or slower, so you guys can play around with that number as well. But at the very bottom, we're going to go into control and then add a delete this clone, and then we can go ahead and test this out. So when we click on the green flag, we're going to click on play. And there we have it falling. Okay. You can play around too, so you can see right now my paddle is kind of being hidden. So you can play around with where they are. So I'm going to move this to the back, test this out again, see if I like it better here. All right, so that's better. Okay, so you guys can play around with this. Another thing that you guys can do is later on I'll show you guys how to update the particle, but if you guys want to add other costumes for the particle to have different ones, you guys can do that as well, and then later on there'll be an update for that code so that when certain amount of bricks are broken, it'll change what you guys have for your particle. So you guys can also do that as a fun little tidbit before that lesson, so you guys kind of have that ready. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the changing paddle.